All right, guys, welcome in. We're live. We're doing an early show this week. In fact, I'm probably going to do two shows here on TigerBait's live show here on YouTube, Facebook. Of course, brought to you by Pride Roofing. Got some good news from the guys at Pride Roofing just 30 minutes ago. I'm going to talk about them a little bit later in the show. Obviously, big news today, which is why I'm going live. LSU gets their defensive coordinator. Now we wait to see who the linebackers coach and defensive line coach is going to be. I've been beating that Christian LaCouture drum for quite a while. We can talk about that. We're going to get to all your questions. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, we welcome you in, and we're going to probably go brief tonight. I know a lot of people probably keeping an eye on the LSU basketball game. So if you're going to be in the chat, do me a favor and give me a score update every now and then, because I don't have a monitor in front of me as to what's going on with the LSU basketball game. Look, I'm already getting hit with a bunch of questions. Let's get it rolling. Leon Nietzsche, Dunbar coming. Look, that number's been out there for a while. And, look, I think Christian LaCouture is a possibility. I mean, there's been Brick Haley rumors out there. I'm not sure what the match is there, but I'm pretty darn sure that Jones and Ed Orgeron and everybody in the building are going to have some. Bill Johnson, of course, is still there as an analyst after being a defensive line coach at LSU for several seasons. So we're going to see how that pans out. But the big news of the day is LSU does get their defensive coordinator. I've been reading all the comments on our TigerBait Facebook page when we posted the news yesterday that he was likely the guy. When Bruce Feldman runs with it, it's coming from Ed Orgeron. And sure enough, Ed Orgeron was on radio this morning, said it wasn't quite done yet. I think he's maybe a little gun shy. But by the end of the day, it's a done deal. And I know LSU's very excited to have him. Like Jake Peets, a lot of people questioning a guy who's had very little experience actually calling offense, now a guy calling defense. We're going to see how this plays out. Henry Gordon Bennett, are the rumors about Eli Ricks wanting out true? Look, I don't know that Ricks is doing himself a lot of favor with a lot of the coded tweets and stuff on Instagram that's been out there. All I know is he's been doing his workouts. He's going to class. There's a lot of people at Ohio State starting rumors. There's stuff out there about why this could be, what's going on. And I hesitate to go in a lot of that because it's a tricky situation. And if you get it wrong, you can really have a big amount of egg on your face. So we'll see. There he is. Are you serious? My guy, Blake Ruffino, in the house. I gave him a couple of eyeballs. Now he's giving me 3 sets of eyeballs on his show. So, Blake, you got a score update. Somebody give me an LSU score update. There we are. Leon gave me one. 18-11 LSU. LSU really needs a win tonight in football. Let's see. Brandon Reese, why not just promote Christian LaCouture to defensive line coach and promote Kelvin Shepard or Trev Falk to linebacker coach? I was told I didn't get all the Trev Falk stuff that was out there a month or so ago. It just didn't make sense to me. Everybody, and I've got, having spent a lot of years in Lafayette, everybody in Lafayette say he's staying put at Lafayette Christian. Why would he leave there? I mean, he can be a Hall of Fame coach there, shoot with the number of state championships he's got already. He's got a Hall of Fame resume. I just don't see him leaving there. Why would you leave a head coaching job at a private school that's won multiple state championships to be an analyst at LSU? Usually your coaches, if they want to be a college coach, they've usually made that move at a younger age. Not to say that it can't happen. But strange things can happen. But everything I'm told, he's staying put. But I do agree with you on Christian LaCouture. I've been following Christian very closely since he's been a GA at LSU, and he is absolutely vital to LSU's recruiting efforts. He does a fantastic job with defensive linemen across the country. It helps that he's 5 years removed from being a player. So he's not much older than a lot of these recruits. He can relate to them. And I think he's a fantastic defensive line coach. I've seen him work the camps. And great personality. I think he's got a bright future. At some point, he's going to need to get a job, and he just can't be in that GA slot inside a program. Let's see. All right, guys, give me some score updates. I'm appreciating it. 23-13. Jerry DeLucky, Coach O needs to get with these players that seem to be playing games on social media. I absolutely agree with you, Jerry, and try to put an end to some of these rumors. No doubt, it's not good for the program. And look, I don't know if there's not too many good cops and not enough bad cops in the building. Is this just the nature of the modern football player and where we're heading as far as college football being very much like semi-pro football? Some of the stuff I've seen out there and the way the program's developed, college football is trending. I know it's turning off a lot of people, particularly if you're of a certain age and up. Let's see. Esteban's in the house. Bring in T. Williams for linebackers room, promote LaCouture, or bring Dunbar, let Coach O be the CEO, cheerleader, recruiter. It's going to be very interesting to see. I know a lot of people questioned Coach Jones going to coach safeties, which has been split up. And Corey's strictly going to coach corners like he's done since Bush had arrived. I'm not against that. I know Corey Raymond's got a lot of fans out there, but I'm not going to throw out what worked well for several years because it didn't look good last year. So LSU's going to have some Jims and Joes to work with, and that's what's important. Josh Sibley in the house. Good to have you, Josh. Rules dealing with the NCAA family members can't get coaching jobs the same year people are recruited. There needs to be a gap in time. Yes. Which Preston did a story on Verge Alsbury's son getting a scholarship offer. We've got that on the front page of TigerBait.com. Super kid. Seen him play. So Preston said, well, can you get a quote from Verge for the story? I'm like, he's his father, but then I wonder if it's a tricky situation. Even though he's his dad, can he quote about it since he's give a quote about his son getting an LSU offer if he's in the building? Is there some gray area? I mean, there's so many NCAA rules, and it's probably more of a headache for him just to avoid talking about his son getting an offer. I know Les Miles talked about him giving Ben Miles an offer years ago, but I just said, man, that's probably more of a headache than it's worth. But check out that story on Jaden Alsbury on the front page of TigerBait.com. Super kid. In fact, Preston said of all the kids he's interviewed over the last several years since he's been writing for TigerBait, he said Jaden Alsbury was as good as interview, if not the best that he's had. And that's saying a lot because Mason Smith was fantastic, and there's been a lot of others, but very much impressed with the class of 2023 athlete Jaden Alsbury. Read that story on TigerBait.com. Please do me a favor, hit the like button, share this on your Facebook feed. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button and the notification bell so that way every time we go live. Our YouTube channel has been growing by leaps and bounds. If you've been hitting us on Facebook, we load up a lot of extra videos on our YouTube channel almost daily. We'll have Will Wade's postgame and player interviews later tonight on our YouTube channel. So go to TigerBait.com, all one word, TigerBait.com on YouTube. Hit the like button and notification bell, and every time we load up player interviews and other videos that we post there, LSU related, recruiting, etc., you'll get notified. Our channel's been growing by leaps and bounds. Bayou Bingle. Who does LSU finish with next Wednesday on signing day? Popped it out on Sunday on our Tiger Den Premium message board. Brian Thomas, I believe, is going to be an LSU signee. Of course, we know Macchianoli and Savion Jones are on the commitment side. Those guys will both be signees as well. And then we're going to see about Logan Diggs. I think Logan Diggs is going to be a part of LSU's class, and that's going to be an interesting way how that pans out for LSU. So On the 30th, we're going to get word of Will Campbell's commitment to LSU. Of course, future, in my mind, a future 5-star offensive tackle from Neville. So I think that's going to take some of the sting off. As you notice, I didn't mention another offensive lineman. I think now that you've got Emory Jones, Will Campbell for next year, Will Campbell will be in the fold, Emory Jones, Bo Bordelon from Newman, Ben Bordelon's son, got the offer early last week. You got the kid from St. Paul's in Mobile already committed. You're going to see a good class of 4 or 5 next year. Maybe even, could they even go as many as 6 next year? And then you're still holding out spots for possible transfers, grad transfers. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. 26-14 LSU. All right. They're picking up where they left off last game with Texas A&M. Any truth to Blake Baker interviewing for the linebacker coach? Had the privilege of playing with him at Tulane. He was a great linebacker in high school. I haven't heard that, but I'm going to be making some calls and should have some updates on that. I'm going to do 2 shows this week. I think I might even have a guest in here with me on Thursday night. I wanted to go live tonight since LSU hired Daronte Jones and it became official. So we're going to do 2 shows this week. Of course, brought to you by Pride Roofing. Very much appreciate Mike Faraday and Alex Martinez being the official roofing company of TigerBait.com. And he was all excited because we've now had a bunch of folks who've watched the show and are jumping on the special. If you call Pride Roofing, give them a call at 225-275-2041. And if you call them and get a free roofing inspection from them, and they come out and give it to you and you tell them you saw it on TigerBait.com, they will give you TigerBait.com an annual subscription for free. And they've had a bunch of people jump on that. Do yourself a favor and call Pride Roofing, call the number. Be sure to tell them you heard about them on TigerBait, and you will get TigerBait free for a year by saying that you saw it here. Of course, they're licensed in both residential and commercial, have the best labor warranty of any roofing company in Louisiana. Went out to their place 2 weeks ago. They have enough shingles in their yard to do over 100 roofs. It's unheard of. And they make all their own flashing. They can turn a roof around and get to you within 2 weeks because of all those shingles in stock. If it's commercial, residential, they're Better Business Bureau approved. Anywhere in South Louisiana, Gulf Coast of Mississippi, north of the border, heading in to Mississippi, they've got you covered. Sulphur, Lake Charles, Gulfport, North Shore in a big way. St. Tammany Parish got you in a big way. Baton Rouge. In fact, he told me tonight they're going to Prairieville tomorrow to do a free inspection on a roof, and someone's going to get a TigerBait subscription. So very much appreciative of you guys saying TigerBait, and you win. You win all the way around. So if you think you're about a year away or 2 years away and you're not sure, and you want to find out what it's going to run you, call Pride Roofing. Tell them you heard about him here. Mike Faraday, of course, LSU grad, Broadmoor High School grad. I grew up with him. Him and his family, a few blocks away from where I grew up in Sherwood Forest. Excellent people. Alex Martinez, his partner. Absolutely a great company to deal with, and you'll be very happy that you called them. Pride Roofing. Tell them you heard about them on TigerBait.com. All right, let me get to some more of your questions. Look at this, Phil. Phil Tittle giving me the update. 30-16 LSU. A lot more hustle and ball movement tonight. Good. How's their defense look? You guys tell me how their defense. A lot of people have been ripping on LSU. And by the way, of those 30 points, is Cam Thomas shooting the lights out? Let me know. Darren Birch, Derek Stingley not transferring. No, he is not. He's not going anywhere. There's no issues with that. Pat Mashburn, what does Parker think of Daronte Jones? I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Parker is downstairs, and he's got such separation anxiety. He sounds like someone's sticking an ice pick in his eyes. Not looking good for Moco, says James Martin. No, I don't think LSU. I think LSU, with everybody opting to come back, a strong year in Louisiana for offensive linemen. Like I mentioned, Will Campbell is going to go down on January 30th. We expect that to be LSU, and he's absolutely fantastic. Emory Jones, I think it was Coach Fertitta tweeted out last week a video of Emory Jones at Catholic of Baton Rouge dunking a basketball. What an athlete he is. I think he could be a 5-star. I keep telling you guys every week I'm working on my class of 22 top rankings, and I keep pushing it back because there's more kids that I'm watching film on. State is absolutely loaded, and I'm telling you right now, I think there's probably maybe 8 guys in Louisiana that could be national 100 caliber recruits, and you could have 3 or 4 5-stars in the state of Louisiana. It's that good. And I have Walker Howard as a 5-star. I think Emory and Will are possible 5-stars, and there's other guys. So a lot of fantastic athletes, wide receivers, offensive linemen. So I think they're going to be done with offensive linemen, and we'll see how it plays out the rest of the way. What's going on with the program? Give me something specific, Dustin, and I'll answer you. Rick's, what's going on really? Look, we've seen some things over the last several months. And look, there's been guys out there as well that you think it's one thing and it's another. And I'm not saying this is with Elias Ricks, but I probably bring it up every week. You guys who have been on our live shows every week know I talk about it. LSU is at a distinct disadvantage compared to other schools. Every school has a drug testing policy. They all test for marijuana. They all test for synthetic weed. I don't know the ins and outs, and maybe some of you guys in the chat know better than me. If synthetic weed can get out of someone's system quicker than real weed does, but you've got a real big problem with synthetic weed. Then you have the NCAA testing that can happen around bowl season. But LSU is the only school out there that's taken away games played from football players if they test positive for marijuana or synthetic marijuana. And I'm not saying it should be a free-for-all and let these guys smoke all the pot they want and do what they want to do with no ramifications. But the playing field is not level at LSU. And, I had someone say, one of the problems you've got, and look, it's a generational thing. You've got kids out there now where they actually smoke pot with their parents. And it's no big deal, so something's going to, we've already seen that starting to happen with the NFL Players Union and the way they regulate that in the NFL. And you wonder if some point, as more states across the country legalize it for recreational use, how long is that going to be before that becomes something that's on the ballot here in Louisiana? And then what does that mean across the country, for football players? You'd much rather, are some of these kids just, we can laugh and say, well, why don't kids drink beer anymore? Well, no, most of them, they smoke weed because I think weed for a lot of them is easier to get than it is for them to go into a store with a fake ID or get someone to buy them alcohol at 19, 20 years old. And if it's because of injury situation and these guys, every time they're in a collision on a football field, it's equivalent of a 70-mile-an-hour car crash. Would you rather these guys using that, or would you rather them be on opiates? Would you rather them be taking prescription drugs that can really give you an addiction problem? So that's a whole other show, and we can get a doctor in here one day to talk about it. I don't know, but something's got to be done. I'm not a guy that it messes with that stuff. But look, LSU is at a disadvantage. I mean, look, we've seen it in recruiting. I've seen it in recruiting over the years. It wasn't too long ago there was a player from New Orleans that ended up at another school because he knew of LSU's drug testing policy, and the other school flat out told him that it wouldn't be a problem at their school. 35-18, LSU. Jonathan Beers, Ricks is from California. Weed is legal in California. Jerry DeLucky giving us the great updates. Cam is 1 of 5 from three-point range. Sooner or later, he's going to snap out of that. Phil Tuttle, if you leave because you can't stop using illegal drugs, you have a problem. look, there's stuff out there where, and I don't want to connect it to Rick's or anybody, but there's situations where a guy says, you know what, if you're going to make me miss 3 football games and I can just transfer and get a waiver from the NCAA without having to sit out a year and not miss any games because I tested positive for weed, you can see what the mindset of a 19, 20-year-old and probably even their parents. LSU needs to get it fixed, bottom line. Here we go. I'm about to get an education. Let me see what Joseph Fusile's got. The Mojo synthetic weed is a real problem. Hate to hear our players taxing their bodies with harmful chemicals. I'm with you. Took rehab for honey badger to get off the Mojo, if I'm not mistaken. And, that was my whole thing with Tyrann Mathieu. And if you talk to anybody who was on that Les Miles staff in 2012, they believed, first of all, what was he doing? Why was he doing synthetic? Why wasn't he doing the real stuff? And don't want him doing either one of them, but they believed that whole situation cost them a legit chance at another national championship shot, and I believe them. Just imagine what LSU would have been like in 2012 had Tyrann Mathieu not been booted out of the program because one too many times he tested positive for weed. And look what he's done in the NFL. Always knew he was a super kid. He always knew he wasn't a criminal. Always knew he had a good heart. Got booted off the team, and he still loves LSU, donates money to LSU, and he's as good as it gets when it comes to the program. A lot of kids get booted out of a program. They never want to come back, and they're going to badmouth you the rest of their lives. That never happened with the Honey Badger. Joshua Stewart. Guys, sorry, I'm kind of going back and forth. Some of you guys, I'm going to have to scroll up. Josh Stewart, any update on Arik Gilbert? No. I still like LSU's chances of getting him back. We'll see how it plays out. I've never been one since he left and all that stuff started happening that believed that he wasn't going to, that the chances at LSU were slim. I think LSU's chances are as good as anybody that he'll be back. Chance Babin. Coach O said today he was talking to some linebackers in the transfer portal. Any names? No, not yet. That's certainly going to be something that they're going to want to keep quiet. But I'm going to be doing some digging for sure. Now that the defensive coordinator search is done, position coaches are a little bit easier, and I think they're going to happen quick. We'll turn our attention to finishing out, the recruiting class. And all the 2022 and 23 offers, which they've been flying. A lot of that info on our Tiger Den premium message board. Check it out. Go to TigerBait.com, subscribe. We really want to have you. I promote it every week. I really want you guys to be a part of our community on TigerBait. Our message board has been growing by leaps and bounds. A lot of you have signed on board. Like I always say, when you go to TigerBait.com, choose the annual package. You're basically getting 3 months for free. It's less expensive, and you only get billed once a year. We want to have you as a subscriber to TigerBait. We really think you'll enjoy it. You get your newsletters, your text alerts on breaking news. You get our premium message board, which I'm there day and night. All our football, baseball, basketball coverage. And it's going to be a great recruiting year. So you'll want to be a subscriber to TigerBait Premium and want to have you. Let's see here. Dane Bergeron, hey Mike, who will the other defensive coaches be at LSU? We're going to find out some of the names out there. I mean, look, defensive line, you guys know I'm a big proponent of Christian LaCouture. We're going to see some of these names that come out. I mean, you got the linebackers coach from Auburn being mentioned out there earlier today. We'll see how this plays out. Darren Birch. Hope and pray for our tailgating to be back for next season. You guys saw today that football media days are being moved to Hoover, Alabama. And you got a mayor in Nashville that helped that come about. Very similar to your mayor in New Orleans as to why that's coming about. So go somewhere where you can get it done and not have any issues. What do we see? What was the date on that? They're about to release the SEC schedule for the 21 season here real soon. So we'll see that. Jonathan Burris, Mike, how you feel Corey Raymond feels about this D coordinator hired? Does he even want to be a defensive coordinator? I think there's a lot of fans out there that are more interested in Corey Raymond being a defensive coordinator than Corey Raymond wants to be a defensive coordinator. That's just my take on it. I always thought that if Corey wanted to be a defensive coordinator, he probably needed to leave LSU first and prove it at a mid-major. But now LSU brings in Daronte Jones with very similar experience other than having NFL experience. And, you know, I'm not going to, you know, 1 year Division II doesn't make him much more qualified. But yeah, I think probably the thing that maybe bothers Corey is not getting safeties back, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's okay with it now. I don't know. But I think that was something that he didn't like several years ago. And that was something that Dave Aranda wanted. You know, he almost left for Texas, and when he stayed and got more money, and that was one of the things that he wanted. He wanted a safeties coach, and since then it's been split up, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. Is Jones is going to coach safeties. Chad Michael, do you honestly believe LSU starts the season with all 4 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster? No, I do not. I just don't see it happening, especially in today's I will not sit when I can start elsewhere. I agree with you. You still got questions about Miles Brennan out there. Spring football is going to be very interesting. I think you can go from 4 to 2 in a hurry. You know, hopefully if you only go down from 4 to 3, but you could actually go down from 4 to 2. And Lafayette, St. Thomas More, they need to get everything fixed up so that Walker Howard can be a midterm graduate. As of right now at St. Thomas More, they don't allow midterm grads. And hopefully they can get that ironed out. It's a tricky situation of where you can get classes in, what classes will be accepted, where can you take them. I think there's a religion class that might be a hang-up. But a quarterback, it's vital in my mind that Walker Howard be at LSU at midterm. So hopefully the diocese and St. Thomas More get that worked out in Lafayette. Esteban, Raymond and Jones hopefully can go hand in hand and get that backfield back on track. I'm sure like a lot of you guys, I went through YouTube and did some digging around, saw some videos of Coach Jones mic'd up when he was in Hawaii, other stops, and he's a very likable guy. I like his energy on a practice field. I think there's a lot to be excited about with him, and we'll see how this goes. Jared James Smith, he's going to kill it. All right, here we go. We got an update. 39-33. Look at that. A&M has closed the gap. Hit 2 minutes left in the half. Thanks for that update, Trad. All right, guys, hit the like button, share. I'm gonna go a little bit longer, and we're gonna do another show. Usually, you guys know I go live on Wednesday or Thursday. I wanted to go live tonight since LSU got their defensive coordinator hire, so we could talk about it. But I'll be back on Thursday night. I'm probably gonna see if I can get a guest in here. I might even bring see if I can talk Buddy Sanji to come in here and see what he thinks. I keep talking to Buddy about trying to get him in here, but I'll have somebody in here either way. Let's see. Let me scroll up, see what I missed. All right, guys. About 39-36. Thanks, Randy. Esteban Jones is made for the, what is that icon? Looks like a player's coach. No, he is very much a likable guy. I like his energy. Look, no doubt he had to have been very impressive in the interviews. I know one of the things that they do when coaches come in the building, they talk football. They get they fire up the audio video system, and they break it down, and he gives a presentation, and I'm told that all that was very much impressive. So it's going to be an exciting spring. So we're going to see how this plays out. Here we go. Are you serious? Bring Sanji. Yeah, I'm going to keep that up on there. And that's how I'm going to end the show. I'm with 30 minutes tonight, guys. Hold on. Let me get one more. Chance Babin, talk about Jones as a recruiter. You know, that's kind of an unknown. He's been in the NFL for a while. Look, first of all, he's selling LSU. All right. That makes it a good part of your job already there for you. He's got a bunch of guys in the recruiting office. You got Jeff Martin, Christian LaCouture, those guys helping you recruit. He's got a great personality, full of vitality. I love, like I said, watching some of his mic'd up videos on YouTube. Go do a search and check those out. So I think he's going to be fantastic. Mike Robichaux, is Walker Howard a bigger prospect than Nussmeier? I tell you what, I think they're pretty close. I think Walker Howard is going to be a 5-star. And what I've seen out there, you've got a kid out there that they've got rated higher on one of the networks, higher than Walker, and I don't see it. I think Walker Howard is the best quarterback I've seen in Louisiana since I've been doing it, and this is the 25th year of TigerBait. So I didn't go back as far as Peyton Manning in the Josh Booty years. Of course, I was there, Ryan Perrilloux, Dak Prescott. We know how LSU messed that one up. But I think at this age, right now, with him going to his senior year, I have not seen a better Louisiana quarterback prospect than Walker Howard. And wait till he puts an extra 10, 15 pounds on. I think he's in his mid-80s, 180s right now. And he'll be right at 6'2". I think he'll be right at 6'2", 200 pounds. No less than 195 by the time he arrives at LSU. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, Chad, Mike Robichaux, that's what the experts are saying. Howard is regarded as a can't-miss elite quarterback. I've been seeing him since the 9th grade, and one of the things that I said was echoed by another big-time coach in the area who just won a state championship, Tony Corville at Karen Crow, and he was as good, he was as can't-miss of a prospect in the 9th, 10th grade. There hasn't been a guy that was so obvious and can't miss at that age in the Lafayette area since Kevin Falk. And you guys know what Kevin Falk did if you're a little bit older. He was Gatorade National Player of the Year. That was pre-internet. Had Kevin Falk been in the internet age, he would have been as big as Leonard Fournette and anybody else that came out of high school in the internet age. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for being a part of it. Go to prideroofing.com. Hit the link to their website. Tell them you heard about them on TigerBait. You'll get a free subscription to TigerBait if you get your free roofing inspection. Jump all over that. Tell them you saw it on TigerBait. Go to TigerBait.com, subscribe, choose the annual package, and we'll be back, I think, Thursday night with a guest. So we'll see you then, and we'll watch the second half of the LSU basketball game tonight. Good night, guys. Talk soon.